I'm going to show you how to work with celluclay and Paris craft on canvas. And this is a finished piece that I did of a figure. I'm going to show how to do a figure, and I want to show the finished piece first because when I'm actually working on the figures, I don't think it looks like all that much, but you can see with the piece here how I just keep layering tissue paper, paint, graphite, and turn it into something. So I'm going to use celluclay, which is an instant paper mache product, which I found with my teaching with kids. I use this for sculpture with my kids. A lot of the products I use actually are things that I've used with my classes. So this is an instant paper mache. You add water to it, warm water, and you scooch it around until it's very pliable. And if you wanted to with the kids a lot, I have them add glue to it also, but I'm not going to do that today. So you can see it literally just turns into an instant paper mache. So for this figure, I've built up the figure, and now what I'm going to do is add a head to her and some hair, and again, just play with it. I like to not worry when I'm working about things going off onto the canvas or making a mess, because I feel like a lot of times it will just end up adding into your artwork. So the first layer of the celluclay is done, which again, it doesn't really look like much but a stick figure. And now I'm going to take the Paris craft, which is gauze bandages dipped in plaster, which I use with the kids for mask making. And this you dip in warm water also. And you will drape it over the figure. And you want to smooth it out as you go. And again, I'm not worried about these pieces overhanging. I actually like them because it's only going to give you more texture on your piece. So I'm not worried that this is not, for instance, I'm not worried that that's going off. I actually like that. And just you want to smooth it out. I do masks with kids with this, and I also do shoes with this. And sometimes you get a kind of funky piece like that you don't want to use, so put that aside. Smoothing it out. Now this would be dry, but I'm just going to go over it just to give you the idea. You can play with it. So there I've got the basic figure, and now what I'm going to do is cover the entire figure with brown tissue paper. And the tissue paper, I like to use either vintage pattern paper or brown tissue paper. For this piece, I'm going to use just the brown tissue paper, and I'm going to use gel medium, which I'm just keeping my big brush in water, and I'm just going to actually kind of mix it as I go and spread it on here. I always get the extra heavy matte medium and just thin it with water as you need it, but this will hold anything. So, and then I'm just going to cover it with the tissue paper. Again, you can see now with this little bit of a layer, it's starting to build up a little bit more, look a little bit more interesting. And again, I'm not worried about little pieces off on the side, because when you continue adding paint and different things, that's just going to give you more texture. I'm also on this girl going to add a little of the pink for the clothes, which would be, again, the first layer in color. I would be adding paint and everything else on top of this. And again, just the gel medium, mixing it in. Whoops. And like I said, this would just be one of many layers to build up the figure. Alrighty, that gives you the idea. And then over here, I have finished her, and then what I would do is take a brush, just going to clean it in there, and I would put gesso on the whole thing, just to kind of tone it down a little bit before I add the paint and the different little embellishments. So what I really like to use with this is super heavy gesso, and dip my brush in, and I would just go over her and just kind of make the figure pop a little bit. So you can kind of see how this has started, and it would evolve into something like this with just the figure going. Now I go in with paints and other things, but that's how I would build up the figure on this. Now I'm going to show you how to build up the surface with just the Paris craft. And on this canvas, I've just loosely sketched out a dress, just very quickly, and did a quick wash on the background of the canvas. And I have bigger pieces here. Again, I'm going to dip this in the warm water. And the cool thing about the Paris craft for making clothing on canvas or wood is that you can literally drape it and get the folds of the clothes, which is, I just tear it. It's very messy. When I do this at school with the kids, the custodians do not like me because there's plaster all over. But you can see I'm just, it's fun to mold and to play with. I like doing the ridges on the dress. And again, the hot water, the hotter the water, the better it works. Build up the little neck there. And you don't need glue or anything. This will dry hard to the canvas. I actually keep everything going in the same direction, so I'm going to do one more piece there. So there you go, and then you can just play with it. It takes a while to set and dry, so you can go in and work on it.